What is inflation? Let's take a look on a sample case now. On 1st May of 2020, James went to the supermarket to shop for groceries. As he went to the frozen food section, he saw the astonishing increase in price for salmon. It cost $1 per kilogram a few days ago, and now it costs $2 per kilogram. What in the world happened? He moved on to the vegetable section. Again, when he decided to purchase the cabbage, he saw the sky-high price of 50 cents per 100 grams. This leads us to the macroeconomics concept. The general price level is determined by the intersection of the aggregate demand and aggregate supply curves. Aggregate demand is the total demand by households, firms, government, and foreign sector for the final goods and services that is produced in the economy at various price levels. Aggregate demand is mainly determined by the sum of consumption expenditure, investment expenditure, government expenditure, and exports revenue minus import expenditure. In short, it is also known as C plus I plus G plus X minus M. Aggregate supply is the total output that firms in the economy are willing and able to supply at different price levels in a given time period. Any changes in aggregate demand, aggregate supply, or both will usually lead to a shift in general price level, provided that the economy is not in the Keynesian range, which is the horizontal portion of the curve. Coming back to our question, what is inflation? It is the persistent increase in general price level that is not matched by the rise in output. As GPL persistently goes up, this will affect the country in different ways. One example is the loss in investment. As there is uncertainty in future profits, investors may withdraw their investment from a country and move them to another for a better prospects. So what can the government do to solve this problem? The government can adopt various measures such as fiscal policy, monetary policy, or exchange rate policy, which is going to be discussed. What is contractionary exchange rate policy? It is a policy used to address demand pull inflation by appreciating the country's currency through purchasing domestic currency or selling foreign currency in the exchange rate market. It increases the demand for the domestic currency, making it stronger. Therefore, export prices are now more expensive while import prices are cheaper. Assuming that the demand for exports and imports are price elastic, a fall in export revenue and rise in import expenditure result. As X minus M decreases, aggregate demand and thus the general price level decreases. This lowers the inflation. Moreover, price of imported raw materials may also decrease. Since production is affected by profits, therefore, producers are more willing and able to increase production with decreased cost of production. Hence, general price level falls and inflation is decreased. Nevertheless, there are also some ineffectiveness of exchange rate policy. First of all, the Marshall-Lerner condition must be met. This means the price elasticity of demand for export and import must be greater than 1. Other than that, the government must also have sufficient availability of foreign exchange in order for them to sell foreign currency. Next, There must also be a large proportion of imported input, or else this policy will have minimum effect. Lastly, this policy may also lead to the loss in export, as well as investment competitiveness. In conclusion, exchange rate policy may seem to be very effective in dealing with inflation. However, in the real world, a single policy will not work. Only through the use of combination of policies will the government be able to effectively reduce the inflation rate.